We will get started in a couple minutes, but just wanted to say thank you for joining us. I'm Kelly Kravitz, the Director of Highly Mobile and At-Risk Student Programs team. We're really glad that you're with us. Awesome. Love the hearts. Yeah, if you want to come in and drop a heart, some clapping, we've got some excitement today. Those of you guys joining us live, we're so glad that you're here. Glad to be here. Thanks, Corey. We appreciate that. Good afternoon to you too, Diana from Brownsville. Hi, Matt. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Viviana. It's good to see you guys again. New faces, new names, and former names as well. Wonderful. Kelly Johnson, New Caney ISD. So many wonderful places in the house. We're so grateful. Representation from across our great state. We are so honored. McCade, Brazosport ISD. Adriana, welcome. Jacqueline with Region 19. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Hi, Lashonda, ESC4. Okay, everybody, welcome. I love the dropping your name and where you're from in the chat. I am Kelly Kravitz, the director of our Highly Mobile and At-Risk Students Programs team. And we are so just thrilled to be with you. This is the kickoff to the 25-26 school year. We in our team, with our team, we have quarterly webinars that are jam-packed with information. And our team has just prepared an outstanding deck full of information and resources that are going to be relevant to you and for you. Thank you for the work that you are doing and the service to students and families as we've kicked off this new school year. I know that it has been fast and furious and so much going on, and we just are really looking forward to this time with you today and getting to provide some updates and reconnect with you all because we show up every day to serve you and the students and families that you serve. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So for those that are new to our team, or just want a refresher, a reminder, we are the Highly Mobile and At-Risk Student Programs team, and we are in the Office of Special Populations and Student Supports. We're actually also in a new division that's called Student Support, but who we are and what we do remains the same. So the program areas that you're going to hear from today is the Texas Education for Homeless Children and Youth Program, or the acronym TECHY, foster care and student success, pregnancy-related services, and military-connected students. We also just support at-risk students broadly, dropout prevention, and have resources and information available. And you'll see that reflected today in some of the information, the legislative updates that we'll be sharing. The point of these webinars is to provide you updates, reminders, key action items to support you in serving highly mobile students and families most effectively. And we want this webinar, and this webinar is a one-stop shop for relevant information, resources, and updates. So I always like to think of it like as the buffet of HMAR. You're going to hear from each of our program areas, and you're going to get relevant information to inform your work. So we're starting out right now with introductions, and then we have some HMAR general reminders. And then we have some at-risk reminders and information. Then we'll have our TECHY program updates. We'll have military connected student program updates, and then we'll be closing out with reminders and some closing remarks. So that's what we have on deck. The next hour and a half is going to fly fast. And with that, I already said my name, Kelly Kravitz. I've had the honor of being at TEA for over 13 years and really seeing this work grow from a nothing to a something. And I had the honor of joining TEA and leading our foster care work. And that was the initial project. It was a grant funded initiative. And it grew to so much more. Then McKinney-Vento, then At Risk, and on and on and on. And in 2017, a division was formed under Commissioner Morass' leadership to focus on highly mobile and at-risk students, more specifically in the Office of Special Populations. And so our work expanded from being a one-person program area to a team of dedicated professionals that lead with both head and heart. Um, every initiative we lead, we started it. We grew it from idea to program implementation. And I know that I'm not alone in that. We're not alone as we are dealing with leaders and pioneers from across the state where you get something, you have an idea about something, and then you implement it and you create it and you build it. And that's very much what we have done in HMAR. So I have the honor of leading this team. Um, I would be nothing without my team. This is an incredible team, incredible leaders that have incredible backgrounds, and come here and pour themselves out every day to serve you all and to serve the kids and the families of Texas at the highest level. We value excellence and deeply value who you are and what you do and what you contribute, and want to serve you to at the highest level. To call out and recognize our students that for historically many years were underrepresented and overlooked within our school systems. And we have the honor every day to shine the light and to make things better for those that we serve. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our HMAR manager to introduce herself.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Kelly. I am Dr. Ann Lay, and I serve as the manager of our HMER programs. I have such an honor to be able to help support and build upon the programs that we have, our TECHI, our foster care, our military connected student populations. Before joining TEA in 2024, I was the assistant director of special education, an educational diagnostician, and a special education teacher before that. So our special population students and vulnerable student groups are such a group that is so near and dear to my heart. Also, I was a former foster parent, and I myself grew up as a homeless youth, homeless child. And so it's just a great honor to be able to work in this space with such a mighty team. We are a small but very mighty team. And we make such a big impact, and it's all thanks to your support at the local level, the regional level, and our community partners. And so thank you so much for having me today. I'm going to hand it over to our McKinney-Vento State Coordinator.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Desiree Veramontes. I do anything and everything with the TECHI program implementation. Thank you guys for the heart emojis. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to have this first webinar and to go over all the updates that we're going to do in TECHI. Spent the last 2 years at TEA, and this year is going to be one of the best for 25-26 TECHI implementation. Can't wait to get started with that. And I really want to just shout out just right from the gate that we're going to have NAEYC for the first time in Texas. So I'd love to see a lot of emojis for everyone that is going to participate in the national conference, going to be in our backyard in Dallas, Texas. Yep. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to John Dobbins to introduce himself.
Thanks, Desiree. Good afternoon. I am John Dobbins. I am the HMR program specialist here on the team. I'm also your point of contact for foster care and pregnancy-related services, and I do also support homeless education. Prior to joining the HMER team, I did spend 26 years in education. I was a special education teacher, elementary teacher, and a middle school math teacher. 20 of my years were spent as a school administrator, as an assistant principal and a principal at the elementary and middle school level. And I'm excited to be part of this team, and I am very honored to be here with you today. And with that, I will send it back to Dr. Lay.
All right, thank you so much. So as we move forward in this webinar, just wanted to get some housekeeping items at the forefront. So some technical support and engagement. Both the chat and the Q&A functions are enabled. we do ask that comments, feedback are placed in the chat function, and any questions you might have during the webinar, please add it to the Q&A function. When you put it into the chat function with all the feedback that we receive, it may get lost. And so it is easier for us to be able to select some of those questions in the Q&A function to be able to answer during this webinar. And of course, if we don't get to all the questions, we will have a list of those questions and be able to address them after the webinar. So our presenters will be able to answer some of the questions live during our moment of reflection sections throughout the webinar. This presentation is being recorded right now. It is going to be made available on our website by the following week. What is new for our 25-26 school year is that our CPE certificates that we provide for attending our webinars will be provided for those who attend the training live. So if you're here, you're already one step in, but we also need you to complete the end of webinar feedback survey. So in order to get your CPE certificate, please stay till the very end and then also complete the feedback survey. We're going to use the information from the feedback survey to be able to send you out those CPE certificates. All right, our first portion of our webinar is our general reminders. Super exciting. We wanted to share a new tool with you that's designed to help you to easily navigate recent updates to our highly mobile and at-risk program web pages. So on the right side, you'll see a little screenshot of it. Mr. Dobbins will be dropping a link for you to be able to access. No worries, when you get a copy of this deck, it will also be available there. So you don't have to capture all the links right now because it's going to be a little fast and furious. This tool was created with stakeholders in mind. It ensures consistency across all our HMAR programs pages by using a unified format and structure. That means clearer navigation, better visibility, and quicker access to the information that you need. The updates also reflect our current priorities and resources, helping districts and partners to stay aligned with the most accurate and timely guidance. So whether you're supporting students experiencing homelessness or those in foster care, these pages are now more accessible and supportive than ever. We believe that this tool will strengthen our communication, build the trust, and reinforce our commitment to transparency and continuous improvement. So the guide itself is going to walk you through every single layout of each of our pages, but at a high level, wanted to give you a little snippet of some of the general updates that you will see. So we have our program updates on our main webpage. What you see highlighted in orange is our new addition. So HMAR has now picked up dropout prevention as one of the areas that we will help to support. Although we only have a few programs listed here, the 5 that you see, we actually have over 20 web pages that we frequently maintain and update. So the next snippet that you'll see is our webinar link. It now houses all of our program archived trainings from previous years, recording and PDF of the deck, and information of this school year's training dates. And then lastly, our newsletter link now houses all of our archived newsletters from previous years, and also will house all the newsletters and announcements that will go out this year. And if you want to access our HMAR Celebration Stories end of the year videos, it is also linked there as well. Now, specifically for our programs, what you will see is TECHI is going to be our first area here. Newly released resources section is new, the announcement, and now there's a grant section where you can access the grant opportunities webpage, but also the federal and state monthly drawdown interactive dashboard. So if you want to know where you are with your grants at your district level, you can click on that link and be able to get real-time data updates. The next one is going to be foster care here. So foster care itself, you still house 12 web pages. So we've really consolidated and made it more accessible. So what's new that you see is what we call an accordion style school system foster care point of contact, your ESC point of contact. So when you expand on each of those, you're going to get the information that you're looking for at an easier pace. So this replacement of almost 10 separate web pages to become more accessible. And then our next one is our PRS. We've provided updates to our guidance, our checklist, and our verbiage to align to the state waiver guidebook. So if you need a one-stop shop of how to apply for that waiver, go to this webpage. It walks you right through, and any additional links and resources that you need to be able to complete that. Mr. Dobbins does a great job with supporting that, but here you'll have all the information that you need. For the military space, we've reorganized the resources to be more accessible. So what you'll see here is now there's resources designated for transitions and deployments. We have professional development and data resources, non-academic support, a section reserved for National Guard, Reserve, and veterans, and then post-secondary education resources. So they've all been updated. They're all accessible links. And then the last one is our dropout. This one is newly inherited, like we mentioned. We have updated the dropout data. So the latest dropout data that you'll see when you navigate towards this webpage is the most current data. And as soon as we get any additional information, we will absolutely update those. Okay. Do you need technical assistance support? In addition to updates to our HMR webpage, I also want to highlight the layers of support that's available for you locally, regionally, and statewide. For school systems and stakeholders seeking technical assistance, support is readily available. You can connect with your local liaison for immediate district level help. Regionally, each ESC has a designated liaison or champion. We have an amazing ESC liaison champion directory that you'll have a screenshot of on the left side. This directory is frequently updated and makes it easier for you to locate your support system that you need. So it's broken down by each region. So when you scroll down and you're looking for who is our TECHI liaison, our foster care champion, or our military champion at Region 1, the information, the name, the email, and the phone contact information is there for you, all in one-stop shop. So our HMER team is here to support you. Help is just a message away. So also you can email us at the state level for program help. And to assist you in locating your liaison, we do have an additional tool here. Ask TED is our TEA's online Texas Education Directory. It is a real-time database that makes information publicly available to support school systems, parents and families, and also child welfare workers who may need support with school transitions and technical assistance. This tool was developed and updated recently, where it can help you to locate homeless or foster care liaisons. Use this Ask TED information tool to be able to locate them. It is a step-by-step. Recently just provided this to a new foster care liaison, and the feedback was it was very straightforward. You follow the step, then you are able to find who you need. And then with that, as a reminder, all school systems are required to designate a homeless and foster care liaison in compliance with federal and state laws. It is essential that their contact information in Ask TED remains current throughout the school year. So during the school year, as the staffing changes, you'll need to update the Ask TED database. So if you are a district, you'll need to update your information through your district's Ask TED administrator. So that's your first step. Know who your district Ask TED administrator is. If you are a charter school, Charter Schools has an all-in-one update form. When you click on this link, you will go to a form where you can fill out the information you need, and that is how you will update the Ask TED information. And lastly, in this section here, we have our Transition Assistance Toolkit. This series of one-pagers helps to guide school systems with implementing the transition assistance requirements for all newly enrolled students who are in foster care or experiencing homelessness. These requirements include providing nutritional benefits upon enrollment with no delays, holding an enrollment conference within the first 2 weeks of enrollment or as soon as feasible, provide students with a welcome packet with information and resources about the school, and most importantly, introducing your new students to the school, offer tours, make them feel welcomed. And we also have our transition assistance webinar videos, part 1 and part 2, that you can also access to be able to learn in more detail about the transition assistance. And this brings us to our first moment of reflection and processing. Are there any questions that we would like to ask and answer at this time, Mr. Dobbins?
We don't have any questions in the question and answer at this point. And yes, we've had questions. The webinar is being recorded and it will be ready for you to view.
Perfect. Okay. With that, I would like to go ahead and welcome Ms. Kelly Kravitz back to go over the next section.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Lay. We're going to start out this section by giving some legislative updates that relate to at-risk students overall, some things we want to make sure are on your radar. And then we'll transition to Mr. Dobbins providing updates on foster care as well as pregnancy-related services. So something really important for you to know is that Senate Bill 991 expanded the at-risk definition. And so now at-risk includes students who are chronically absent and truant. So this provides your district an opportunity related to compensatory education and district improvement planning to focus on strategies and interventions related to chronically absent and truant. So just make sure that that is on your radar, especially in your upcoming planning that happens for the next school year, that chronically absent and truant are students that you're including and integrating in those conversations, as well as our students who are experiencing homelessness and students in foster care, students who are pregnant and parenting, and the long other list of students who are eligible to be considered at risk. We also wanted to let you know about Senate Bill 569, and this really relates to the replacement of the Texas Virtual School Network, formerly TXVSN. So in this new virtual learning school parameters, there is just significant opportunities for enhancements and strengthening with virtual learning, hybrid learning. And so we just want to make sure that you know about that. The agency is going to be developing rules and policies that govern that, but it's significantly expanded and enhanced opportunities related to virtual learning. And with our students who are highly mobile, this is a really incredible opportunity for them to be connected and to have continuity in education amidst mobility that is happening. So we want to make sure that you're aware of this. And any planning that your district or your campuses are doing in light of this change that you're aware of. And then again, thinking about our mobile students and how they can benefit from these opportunities. House Bill 1211, this is specifically related to former foster youth, and this relates to the tuition and fee waiver. And so students in foster care, if they enrolled in one college credit before turning 25, it basically activated a lifetime tuition and fee waiver. Now that age has been bumped up to 27. So students who were formerly in foster care or currently in foster care, if they enroll in one college credit before the age of 27, they will then activate that lifetime benefit. So just want to make sure that you're aware of that. It is a requirement that schools promote this information to students in their junior and senior year that are eligible. And so just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that change. This is definitely very beneficial. Sometimes our kids transition and they're not ready yet. And so having that opportunity to make sure that they can get that lifetime benefit activated before 27 is definitely a benefit. Senate Bill 226, this relates to residency for child safety placements. So this is not kids in DFPS managed conservatorship, but there is now a requirement that DFPS will be issuing a letter confirming that child's placement, and that will serve as proof of residency for school enrollment. So this is big. I'm seeing some of the celebrations in the chat. You can now expect this for that child safety placement. Again, these kids are not foster care. They're not coded in PEIMS, but this is a child safety placement arrangement. And so you will now start seeing those forms. So make sure that your registrars, and then also just as a foster care liaison, you're informed and aware of that change. Senate Bill 571, child abuse reporting. This is significant. This is significant for every single person here. This shortens the mandatory reporting window. Prior, you had 48 hours if you were professional to make a report if you suspected any type of abuse or neglect. That has now been shortened to 24 hours. So it is absolutely critical. You no longer have 48 hours. It now has to be done within 24 hours. And if you are the person that identified, and again, it's suspected, it's a hint, it's suspicion of something going on, make that report and do it within 24 hours. So this relates to educators, counselors, everybody, all mandatory reporters. And lastly, I wanted to share about Amachi. This is a program that has been funded for some time. That DEA has the honor of granting money to Amachi every year. And this significantly bumped up to 7 million per fiscal year. And so Amachi connects students at risk and students at risk of being incarcerated or having family members that are incarcerated to mentoring, building a positive relationship with an adult, promotes academic success, emotional well-being. And so there has been a significant increase in their funding. And there's also an opportunity for you all as school leaders to connect with Amachi and to build that partnership so that we can have more mentoring going on and more folks benefiting from the Amachi program. And I'm seeing the hearts in the chat. So this concludes my legislative updates, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Dobbins, who will share a little bit more about Amachi.
Thank you, Kelly. Just a little bit about myself. As a child, I was fortunate enough to be matched with a big brother as a mentor for me when I was a struggling student. This mentoring was pivotal in me seeing a world beyond the difficult life that I lived. And that's what Big Brothers and Big Sisters provides for our students. TA is partnering with Big Brothers and Big Sisters to provide mentors to children of incarcerated parents and other at-risk youth. Big Brothers and Big Sisters will pair children with caring, committed, and well-trained mentors. The focus is prevention, support, and long-term transition through their mentorship. Last year, through the grant, Big Brothers and Big Sisters was able to match close to 4,000 students in 7 regions across the state of Texas. And you can also, if you want to learn more, we do have a QR code here for you. And if you would like to become more involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, we do have their website available, or if you want to bring Big Brothers Big Sisters to your district or your campus. We also have a link available for a video for you to learn more about the program. In the pregnancy-related services, pregnancy-related services are support services provided to schools to students during pregnancy in the prenatal and postnatal periods. Campuses can provide compensatory education, home instruction to students at home or at the hospital for students with medical reasons not to attend classes during their prenatal or postnatal period. You have 2 contacts for PRS services. You do have me for program services. Please contact me directly or our pregnancy-related service inbox. And also TA has a financial compliance contact, and her name is Christina Page. You can find additional information about pregnancy-related services in the Student Attendance Handbook in Section 9. 3 resources I would like to highlight for you today are our pregnancy-related services frequently asked questions. This is a very comprehensive document that if you have questions, please look at that beforehand. If you do not find the answer, please reach out to me. Our pregnancy-related services webpage has been updated, as Dr. Lay mentioned earlier. We're very excited. It's a very user-friendly webpage. We also have a sample enrollment intake form for you if you would like to use this form. You can also adjust the form. Next, I would like to talk to you about foster care and education. A couple of reminders for the beginning of the year. Please update your foster care liaison contact in Ask Ted. Again, as Dr. Lay mentioned earlier, that's a great resource for our districts and our parents to find their liaisons. Also, identifying your students in foster care via your PEIMS code. It is critical. We do know that we are under-identifying our foster care students across the state of Texas because we're not correctly using our PEIMS coding data. Also, please plan to attend our fall 2025 foster care education webinar. It will be in October. for a more targeted foster care support and guidance presentation. This meeting will provide you with more in-depth guidance and and is valuable if you are a new if you're new to the foster care work. So if you're new, we really encourage you to join us. We have some resources to help you. One of them, of the resources we have, is the foster care point of contact. This resource will help you understand the requirements and key roles of designated contact for child welfare specialist and the school system liaison. On this tool, you will find the annual communication process and timelines when the point of contact notification occurs. Finally, this tool explains the requirement to maintain updated contact information in the AskTED database. Kelly, would you like to add anything about this form?
Thanks so much, Mr. Dobbins. Yes, something I would like to add is that you can expect DFPS to be reaching out, if they haven't already, to provide you who their point of contact is. And their point of contact for your district will be a DFPS education specialist. And education specialists, they serve and represent numerous regions across the state, and our regions are different from their regions. But what you can expect is a letter from DFPS that lets you know. And then what happens when you get that letter is that you want to then communicate back to DFPS within 7 to 10 days, your foster care liaison contact. And the whole point of that is so that at the start of the year, we know who each other are. And if there are any needs, concerns, opportunities for coordination, which there are, transportation, education decision-making, that the folks from DFPS and the folks from the schools are working together, and that you know who that contact is, and that you make that personal connection before it's needed, before there's an issue or a concern. So please make sure that you're familiar with your education specialist who works in your region. Expect a letter and communication to come from them. Know that when you do get that communication, you are expected to communicate back to them to let them know who your contact is for the year. And that should be aligned with the information that is in AskTED, as Mr. Dobbins mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Another resource we have today to present to you is the PEAMS coding guidance for foster care students. As I mentioned earlier, it's critical that we accurately identify our students in our PEAMS coding so that, yes, to collect data, but more importantly, so that we can ensure that our students are receiving the services and supports they need to succeed during a very difficult time in their life. So this helps you improve coding, identification of students in foster care through accurate documentation, and helps us to ensure that our districts, our staff are trained and informed properly. This resource will help streamline enrollment and clarify expectations regarding DS PEAMS indicator codes. And you can also find this in our foster care guide. We do have some save the dates for you. We have 2 combined foster care and education webinars and state office hours scheduled for this year. So we'll have the presentation, and then afterwards we will have our office hours. We are combining these so that it's more convenient for you and easier for you to access. We know the meeting is at capacity currently. It did have 30, we had 30 seats in the meeting. We are at capacity. What we encourage you to, if you would like to attend this meeting, is to please try to register on the day of the meeting. If you try to register on October 3rd, just in case people that have registered do not join the meeting, you'll be able to join. But also at the end of the meeting from 11 to 11:30 are our office hours. So many of our participants will drop out after the presentation, and then you can join our office hours. Another note is our 2025 Foster Care and Education Summit that was going to be in Denton, Texas, has been postponed to the fall of 2026. We look forward to providing you a comprehensive experience for all who will attend. We're postponing a little bit. That way we can improve the experience and have a great experience for you. So with that, we're going to take a moment to reflect and process. And we do have, Dr. Lay, we have several questions in our question and answer.
I do want to jump in and clarify with the tuition and fee waiver applying up till a student turns 27. Yes, dual credit and any opportunities to earn college credit in high school absolutely activate that tuition and fee waiver. And so, yes, the answer is absolutely yes to that. There was also a question about how truancy is defined with that change to the at-risk definition. And more information from the agency will be forthcoming on that. So I'm not prepared to talk about that at this moment, but there will definitely be more information available. You can also look at the statute directly to see the specifics regarding how it's written, and then the agency will be providing more guidance.
We have a question, Kelly. I think you can field it. Does the new residency form for DFPS provide for immediate enrollment?
Actually, that's a good question, and I'm not sure of the answer to that. It is used for enrollment purposes, but there isn't the same expectation for immediate enrollment as like for foster kids. So yeah, we'll have to get more information on that as well. Great question.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm going to save that one.
The question related to CPS identified in PEIMS, is it possible for CTPS to provide a fall annual list? It is not possible for DFPS to provide a list, and that's because of the highly secure and confidential nature of the information. And I do know that that is challenging, but they are not able to provide a list. Okay, for the sake of time, I realize that there's some questions that we haven't gotten to, so we'll do our best to answer. And then I would say with any questions that remain unanswered, please email either homeless education, if it's homeless, foster care liaison, if it's a foster care question, and we will definitely get back to you. There are also a few that are unrelated to those two groups, but go ahead and message us and we'll make sure and get that information and get back to you. Thank you all for your questions.
And that question that you guys just asked, when I was a foster care liaison, I always contacted my DFPS education specialist in regards to that list and coordinated with them. They're able to navigate that space with lots of their case managers to help coordinate support. Just a pro tip as you're navigating that part. And now I'm going to put my favorite hat on, which is the TECHI hat, and we're going to get into the Texas Education for Homeless Children and Youth, also known as TECHI program updates. I'm going to dive slate of updates. So we're going to start off HB 6 updates for out of school suspension for students experiencing homelessness and below grade 3. HB 6 permits OSS for up to 3 days, but only under specific conditions outlined in the Texas Education Code, Chapter 37005C. So these conditions include conduct involving weapons, drugs, or alcohol, threats to the immediate health or safety of others, documented, repeated, or significant classroom disruption, as well as selling, giving, or delivering to another person, or possessing, using, or being under the influence of any amount of controlled substances, dangerous drugs, alcoholic beverages, marijuana. All of those 4 are listed as conditions. And then in extenuating circumstances, when we're talking about OSS, parents of students below grade 3 or experiencing homelessness may request a switch to in-school suspension if they cannot supervise their child during OSS. This is a brand new update to HB 6, and we are so excited that all of these HB 6 updates will be included in the new TECHI Student Success and Behavior Support Guide, an updated one-pager that will be coming early fall 2025. At the end of all of our webinars, we have an excellent QR code that helps you get onto those announcements if you're not doing that. And that will include an announcement and an update when we release the TECHI Student Success and Behavior Support Guide. Can go on to the next one, guys. Guys, get excited. This is amazing. So we have what we're calling TECHI Support. And really what it is our Techi ESC network and Techi support are really working together to bring these two awesome resources for students, for families, for all of our school systems. The first one, which is available now, and we're going to drop it into the chat, is students, families, or school systems. You can take your scenario, your McKinney-Vento question, the technical support that you need, and you can put it into this TEA web-based intake form to complete, and it will get routed directly to your ESC McKinney-Vento liaison to help support you. And we are launching a brand new phone number that is coming soon. And the phone number is going to be 1-855-85-TEHCY or 83429. We are so excited for this to be launching. We will definitely have be on the lookout for a to the administrator when this is live. The intake form itself is live. And I do want to drop that in there for you guys, so I'll definitely do that. Going on to the next slide. Please throw an emoji if you work with your McKinney-Vento statewide regional contact. This is your support system, your structure for anything for technical assistance, for professional development. Oh, guys, we got a lot more love out there for them. We're celebrating them. If you work with your 1 through 20 in each of your regions, there we go. There's a good amount of love. Now that 1-800 number, that intake form is all going to go to this regional McKinney-Vento liaison contact. It is just a support structure that is really going to help anybody and everybody get a wider net to get the support that they need. We have this on our web portal, so I encourage you to check out our web portal if you need to look up who your regional McKinney-Vento liaison is. And also they reach out to all of their school systems, all of their school districts. So if you guys in the audience, if you're an ESC McKinney-Vento liaison, if you can put your information in there, please let them know. We'll drop a link for the Techi web portal as well. I owe you guys a lot of links. All right, so here are some of the beginning of the year reminders. So 1, you need to update your homeless liaison contact info and Ask Ted. Anne did a great job in reviewing how you do that, and this PowerPoint will be available next week, as well as the recording. But keep in mind when you're updating your Ask Ted information, you don't have to start from the beginning. That is directly in your school district. There's an Ask Ted person within every school system to be able to update it. So make sure if you're the homeless liaison, that contact information is updated. More than anything else, we are now getting into October, which means like it's coming. That means PEAMS snapshot. Throw a like if you are involved in identifying students experiencing homelessness and doing that PEAMS coding with your PEAMS department. That it is accurate. It's your first chance to review any of your reports for your coding to make sure for accuracy. I highly encourage you to work with them before the October snapshot. Ensure immediate enrollment. There should be no delays due to missing records. It's explicitly stated in the McKinney-Vento Act to not require documentation, to remove those barriers, ensure that immediate enrollment for that student so they can get started right away. Definitely use your TREC system to get those records sent to you in an expedited fashion. Also, this is so important. I cannot tell you, it doesn't happen often, but about 1 out of 25 students do not have their lunch services, even if they're coded as McKinney-Vento. So you definitely need to close that feedback loop. Let your parents or families know if you're not getting it. You should be automatic eligibility for free meals from the day that you are identified as McKinney-Vento. Super, super important. Also, notify campus staff of liaison role and responsibilities. Let them know who you are. What are you up to? What do you do? I used to do a beginning of the year video for my registrars, for anybody with the attendance clerks, administrators, any way and every way that you can help them know who you are, what you're about, what is the liaison role, what are the responsibilities, what should they reach out to you for. Also, look at scheduling those best interest determination meetings as needed. That's the crucial checklist when you're looking at it. Should they go to the local attendance area school? Should they stay in the school of origin? NCHE has a wonderful guide that walks you step by step. If you have any questions as you navigate doing any of these McKinney-Vento responsibilities, Techi program implementation, I highly encourage you to reach out to your ESC McKinney-Vento liaison. They are there to support you and help you with any of these questions as they come up. Coordinate transportation plans for school stability. Throw an emoji if you're having any issue with school of origin transportation right now as you're navigating it in the beginning of the year. I remember that it used to eat my lunch every year. It took a huge amount of time to get it rolling and going. Oh, there's only a few emojis. Okay, good. It's not as big of an issue as it was for me when I was going through it. Also, please plan to view, refresh your understanding of McKinney-Vento requirements. We have McKinney-Vento 101, we have 201 as recorded webinars on our Techi web portal. So we are moving to having only 2 of our webinars a year, and really can't tell you enough how awesome it is on our web portal. Go in there, get a refresher. It's always a good thing to do a reboot, to do an annual refresh of your McKinney-Vento 101, your McKinney-Vento 201. If you're new, this is the place to start. So I would say my first email would be to our ESC McKinney-Vento liaison, have a meeting with them, have a phone call, have a Zoom, whatever, schedule an in-person visit from them. But also look at your McKinney-Vento 101, watch that webinar, McKinney-Vento 201, all your state provisions. It's the best way to get grounded in anything and everything that has to do with students experiencing homelessness and what you need to do as a liaison to have an amazing Techi program. So can't highlight that enough. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. If you haven't done a refresher, it's a great way to spend 2 hours. All right, let's jump into the next one. Okay, guys, PEIMS coding. This is huge. Like I mentioned earlier, October Snapshot is coming up at the end of October. It is a huge deal. You definitely want to make sure that your PEIMS coding is exactly the way that it needs to be. You may be communicating your approval codes to your PEIMS coordinator. Ask them to run a report for you. Double check what you sent them as a code for C189, which is going to be your doubled up, it's going to be your unsheltered, it's going to be your motel hotel, it's going to be shelter transitional housing substandard, and you have this PEIMS descriptor code, which is also very helpful when you are explaining the coding to your administrators, to nutrition services. So look at that. So C189 is the first part of that approval. It's the living situation. The second one is very simple. It's going to be your unaccompanied youth. And I think somebody was helping me out in the chat, which is always appreciated. Who codes students who are not homeless but are unaccompanied youth? So this under McKinney-Vento is only for McKinney-Vento. You have to qualify in C189 to then have a C192. They go together. So C189 is the living situation. You have to qualify as a student experiencing homelessness before you can be coded youth. This is only a homeless descriptor in C192. So 3, they live in the physical custody of a parent or guardian. 4, they do not live in the physical custody of a parent or guardian. So when you're looking at this, as you guys know, did anybody have an influx of, like, you had rollover, you come back the beginning of the school year, and now you're really assessing student eligibility for your annual stuff, and it's usually just the way that you start your program. Does anybody have a huge amount of phone calls that you just got finished with back to school in the beginning of September? There's my likes, yep. Then you're looking at McKinney-Vento eligible students should be coded at the time of identification. So that's the day that you were speaking to them, which oftentimes is the day that they filled out the student residency questionnaire. Identification and coding is for the current school year. So you can be in a continued state of homelessness. It can go 1 year, it can go a few months, it can go for 10 years. But remember, under the McKinney-Vento Act, when you're doing your identification and coding, it's for the entire school year, and it's during that current school year. And if they stabilize within that year, just a common, best practice and a reminder from the McKinney-Vento Act, when you identify them as McKinney-Vento, they stay McKinney-Vento until the end of that school year. And McKinney-Vento coding does not carry over from year to year, so there can be a continued state of homelessness, but just make sure that you are definitely assessing the student's eligibility every single year. All right, this is my favorite, guys. I loved it when I was a liaison. I love it as the state coordinator. This is your one page that you can do a lot of professional development with. I call it my one page wonder. It is our 2025 Tetchy infographic, and it has the 23-24 PEMS data in there. It's going to go over everything that we talked just in that PEMS coding, like what are the living situations? You've got the 4 right there, very easy to understand. What are McKinney-Vento students right? One, and then you have the numbers. What does it look like statewide? So we are at 121,537 students, way above pre-pandemic levels, unfortunately on the rise, and we are looking at 12.81% of unaccompanied youth. Then you flip it over and you get to see the data. How many students experiencing homelessness are living doubled up? It's about 76% across the state. And then it breaks it down: unsheltered 6%, motel hotel 9.67, and then shelters 8.03. Graduation rates, we can see the gap and where we need to go to provide that student success for our students. And then at the very bottom, every program that commonly intersects with students experiencing homelessness, students with disabilities, gifted and talented, migratory youth, and then all other homeless students. And it gives you a good way to think about it. So I really encourage you to use this infographic in your professional development. It makes it very easy to understand what is McKinney-Vento in the educational sphere. All right, NAEYC. Okay, NAEYC 2025 in Texas, save the date. So for your emoji, if you are attending in person, I want you to throw a heart out there. If you are attending virtually, put a computer emoji out there. We are so excited for it to be in Texas. I remember the first time that I submitted a proposal to NAEYC, I was really excited, and then the pandemic happened, and we had to do it as a virtual option for the first time. So that's how I did my first presentation for NAEYC, way back a few years ago now, 5 years ago, wow. So we are going to be in Dallas. It's here. We're so excited. At Regency Dallas, November 1st through the 4th in 2025. Remember that it is in person. I highly encourage you. It is in-state travel. It is covered by your Tetchy grants, but attend. However you attend, please attend in person or virtually. So excited for you guys to be there. I'm excited to be there. I think it's going to be great. All right, guys. So what do we have this year? Like I said, 25-26 is going to be our best year ever for Tetchy implementation. I can feel it. It's going to be awesome. So we have 2 webinars, and these are going to be companion webinars. So on our web portal, like I stated, you can still get to the 101. You can still get to the 201. You can watch it. You can take a look at it. So go to the web page, watch those webinars. Everything is still accurate inside of that. And then this year, we're going to do 2 special topic webinars. Our first Tetchy webinar is going to be November 20th, right after NAEYC, 1:30 to 3:30, and the registration is right there for you guys. We are going to be talking about Tetchy, Texas laws and policies. There's lots of ground to cover, lots of ways that we can implement our McKinney-Vento program with our Texas Education Code, Texas Administrative Code. Super excited about this webinar and sharing this content with you guys. And then in the spring, oh, Adrian, yes. Can you guys slide back one slide so she can grab that QR code real quick? There is the NAEYC QR code, and we can also drop it in the chat for you. Okay, awesome. We'll go back to our trainings. So that really starts off our year as our NAEYC conference, and then we get into these webinars. So our spring offering is going to be Tetchy funding and sustainability. This is going to be a refresh. We have on our web portal the previous Tetchy funding and sustainability. If you want to get a head start and you're like, that's a good topic, I want to know more, it's in our web portal for you. And then office hours. These are our most popular thing that we do with Tetchy aside from our webinars. It is an awesome opportunity to do it as a meeting, to see you guys face to face. You bring your scenarios. We talk with our ESC McKinney-Vento liaisons as well as school system personnel across the state. So I'm very, very excited. Our first office hour opportunity is going to be on October 29th. And then our next one is going to be in December 10th. And then we have it February, April 15th, and May 6th. These are completely optional. I highly encourage you guys to attend, whether you attend and you want to be a fly on the wall and just listen to the discussion. If you have questions that are coming up for you, this really is an opportunity for you to bring questions to the TECHI programs and myself, and we talk through it with our ESC McKinney-Vento liaison. So save the date. This is what we're doing. This is where we're headed for this school year. So excited. I know you guys have no questions, so we can jump into the next thing. Just kidding. We'll see. We'll see what questions we have. There she is. There's Ann. She's like, nope.
Do we have any questions we need to address?
We went back. We did the QR
We-
code. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna post the link to the website in a second. Yes, the QR code we will adjust before we post the presentation. We have several questions right now. A lot of them are very specific to the individual campuses. We have questions about discipline situations, also about coding for individual students' living situations. And we will post the email links to our email inboxes at the end of this. So a lot of these individual questions we'll get to, but in the sake of time, we don't have any overall questions at this time, Dr. Light or Dr.
Okay,
Montes.
I'm just gonna take a couple just to answer
Sure.
live. I won't take longer than 5 minutes, I promise. And then I'm gonna introduce. the
Do you have,
amazing
or you
Ann.
may to send some, give you some?
I can see them. It's all good. So, Michelle, you're asking, how do we access TECHI funding to attend this conference in person? It is already baked into your program guidelines. So all you have to do is go to the TEA Grants Opportunities page, type in your TECHI grant. Pro tip, type in homeless in that search box and grants opportunities. It'll pop it up and you go into program guidelines, Control F for in-state, or just put conference. I would do Control F conference. All the information that you need is right there. And guys, on a lot of these questions that you're asking, you can fill out the intake portal, You can fill out the intake form. So I'm gonna put the link in there. That is gonna directly connect you to your ESC McKinney-Vento liaison. It's super, super easy to use. You can type in all these questions that you have. So instead of the inbox, I'm going to direct you to our intake form to fill that out. Annette, you're asking, can SRQs be used as POR? And I need to know what the breakdown of POR is. So if you want to put that into the questions and answers, please go ahead and also reach out to your ESC McKinney-Vento liaison. There's a question. I want to make sure that this is the last one that I will do. I want to clarify this. When you're coding, unaccompanied with McKinney-Vento and the PEIMS codes that we were talking about, can you guys back up to that PEIMS code slide real quick? This is why it's my last question. It's gonna take a little bit to do it, but I just want to explain it. So when you're looking at this for your PEIMS codes and what we're talking about with unaccompanied youth, specific designation of an unaccompanied youth, and it has to be tied to a student experiencing homelessness. So when you're looking at this for the, when you're looking at the PEIMS code C189, they first have to qualify as McKinney-Vento, and then you also have to code them under C192. And you can see very clearly on here with this PEIMS coding, it says that homeless student is in the physical custody of a parent or legal guardian. So that part of it already lets you know that they have to be identified as a homeless student. And then unaccompanied youth is very simple, homeless student not in the physical custody of a parent or legal guardian. When we say unaccompanied youth, when I said unaccompanied youth, it is specifically for homeless that are not in the physical custody of a parent or guardian or are in the custody of a parent or guardian. That's why we put these two together. So definitely use this slide when you're explaining that for unaccompanied youth and what you mean by that designation. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to the amazing, I call her Ann, so I'm going to call her amazing Ann, Dr. Lay, to go into Military Connected. And if you guys can throw some emoji love for her, get her like hyped up on this Thursday, I would really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Viramontes. I have the great honor of leading our military connected student programs, including our Purple Star update. So in this section, I will be sharing some updates for our program. Our military connected students often move frequently and face unique challenges. So it's really important for us to stay informed and prepared to support them. I'm going to walk you through some new resources, some recent changes, and upcoming opportunities that may be helpful for your campus and teams. And guys, we have So we have a robust library of professional development opportunities this year for you, more than we've ever had before. So I'm super excited to be able to share that with you. We're going to start off with some legislative updates that do impact military connected students. The first one is going to be House Bill 2757, and it's the enrollment flexibility for foreign military families. This House bill gives school boards the option to allow enrollment flexibility for children of active duty foreign military families. This helps to align Texas enrollment policies with age expectations from their home countries. This policy is optional for districts and aims to support our military families that are stationed in Texas without imposing financial or administrative burdens. Our second one is going to be House Bill 120, Military Readiness and Accountability. This really strengthens our military readiness and support, expanding on college, career, and military readiness by increasing funding for programs, recognizing JROTC as a career and technical education, and supporting post-graduation advising and credentialing for military connected students. These updates are designed to improve access and long-term outcomes for our military connected students. As we kick off the school year, here are a few key reminders for supporting military connected students. Notably, ensure your students, again, like our other programs, are properly identified in PEIMS and placed in appropriate academic programs. Additionally, keep your military family web pages updated and provide staff with professional development to strengthen support systems. I'm not going to read off all of these, but these steps will help to ensure a smooth start and strong support system for our military connected students. So coding, identification, making sure they're welcomed, scheduling PD opportunities, and if you are able to host those beginning of the year transition meetings with our students. That includes building tours, transcript review services, graduation plans, and so forth. Just like our other programs, TSDS PEIMS coding, military student identifier. This slide outlines the 6 PEIMS code used to identify our military connected students. These include dependents of active duty U.S. military, Texas National Guard, and Reserve Forces. There are also specific codes for pre-K students, including those whose parents were killed while serving. Accurate coding is essential for tracking and supporting these students, so please ensure your data teams are familiar with these descriptors and using them appropriately. We have a training scheduled for October 22nd, titled Identifying Military Connected Students, where we will be able to dive more in depth into coding requirements and strategies. So I'm going to share that link with you later down in a couple of slides. So we do encourage campuses and districts to review your military student identifier process, really looking at the questions you're including with your enrollment and registration process, and then also offering professional development, whether it's new professional development or refreshers, especially for your registrars, your liaisons, your counselors, and any additional staff members who will be working with your military connected students so that the coding is correct and you're providing those appropriate supports. And you know me, I love data. So here is really a high level overview of a 3-year trend. Quick look at the number of military connected students reported in PEIMS over the past 3 years. So we've seen steady numbers across most of the categories, with a notable growth in students identified as dependents of veterans. So that's PEIMS code 5. This growth not only reflects improved identification and reporting practices, but it also underscores the increasing importance of targeted support and resources for this student population. So as we continue to expand on our initiatives and partnership, this data will help us to guide our efforts, ensure that we're meeting the evolving needs of our military connected students and families across Texas. So currently right now we have close to 230,000 military connected students attending public schools here in Texas. And so that is almost a 15,000 student jump from our last webinar from last year. The much anticipated Purple Star campus designation is our next area here. For the 25-26 cycle, TEA received 306 Purple Star campus designation applications. Of those, 98 campuses earned the 2-year designation. 40 of them were first-time recipients and 58 were renewals. On September 4th, the governor released a press release and TEA released a TAA congratulating the new designated campus. If you applied but were not awarded, we do encourage you to view the available resources, including our Purple Star Rise and Exemplar resources to support your 26-27 submission. We are working to provide any feedback that campuses may desire so that they can grow and strengthen as they're working on their 26-27 application. So please email us if you have any questions. And then we want to highlight our Purple Star Rise here. It is our TEA Learn course. It was released in January of 2025, so it is relatively still new. This course was created to support Texas schools with the implementation of Purple Star campus designation, but it also supports military-connected students on campus. We had 146 learners complete the Purple Star Rise course last year. We do encourage you to take this course and learn more about supporting military-connected students, but also earning Purple Star campus designation. And Mr. Dobbins will be dropping you the link so that you can register. Additionally, support can be found by attending our 5-part series of Purple Star Campus PLC. We recently held our first session yesterday with over 100 registered participants. We have 2 more during the fall and 2 during the spring semester. So please visit our Military Families webpage for more details and to download your PDF where you can access the registration link and then be able to attend at your leisure. Hopefully it helps to meet your needs. It will cover a variety of topics, but our next one is going to be identifying military connected students. If you missed the one yesterday, please don't worry. We are working to process the recording and a copy of the PDF, and we will post it onto the HMER webinar webpage under military so that you have access to the information in the event that you weren't able to attend. Lastly, we're excited to share 2 upcoming summit opportunities in partnership with our military coalition, MSEC, which is our grantee for our military grant work. The first one is our Global Training Summit. This has usually been in Washington, D.C., but we recently had it moved into regional areas. One's going to be Atlanta. The other one is in Austin. And so our Fall 2025 Summit is Friday, September 26th, so coming up real soon. It is a 1-day event for K-12 educators and leaders focused on strategies and resources to support military and veteran connected students. The registration link will be shared to you. There is, however, a registration rate of $249, but it is, our commissioner will be there. We have great lineup of key speakers and professional development sessions that will sure to impact your ability to be able to move the needle with our military connected programs. Then in spring of 2026, we're going to be hosting a military professional development summit in San Antonio. This event will offer training and tools to help schools and communities support academic and personal well-being of military connected children. So registration for the Austin Summit is open now. There is no cap at this time, and details for the San Antonio event will be forthcoming. And at this time, a little bit of moment of reflection. Do we have time?
Taniqua has a question for you, Ann. Is this
Yes.
part of the cohorts?
The summit?
She just asked a general question. I think, Tanika, if you want to put it in the chat, do you mean the summit or do you mean Friday's meeting?
Well, I am so sorry to miss this. I did want to highlight our ESC military champions. Thank you, Mr. Dobbins, for sharing that, and Taniqua over at ESC 9. I forgot to mention, we have a wonderful ESC military champion Texas cohort that was formed, the inaugural cohort. We have an ESC military champion representative at each of our ESCs who will be attending our summit. And so they are coming together to work on a resource resource that's going to be shared with the field. And we are so blessed to be able to have our voluntarily designated champions to help us do the work that we do. And our 5-part PLC PD series, it is open to everyone. It is not restricted to any audience or anything like that. So we have community members, we have parents and families who may attend, we have military installation members. So if your local education agency or your regional staff would like to attend, please register. We welcome all of our stakeholders. Mr. Dobbins, is there additional context or
Currently,
questions?
there's a lot of excitement about the upcoming summit, but there's no military connected student specific questions at this time.
Perfect. And if you do think of it after the webinar, please feel free to email us. We are just a click away. So as we go into our last section of our webinar, I do want to remind you, please stay on until the very end. CPE certificates will only be provided to those who attend live and complete the end of the webinar survey. So our first reminder here is we want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone for your continued dedication in supporting highly mobile and at-risk students across Texas. This past year, we've seen incredible work happening in schools and districts, from enrollment support to transition programs and everything in between. So we were able to capture some of these highlights in our 24-25 HMR Celebration Stories video, and we encourage you to take a look and celebrate the impact you're making after our webinar. So again, thank you for all that you do, and Mr. Dobbins will share this link with you. New for this year is a comprehensive professional development resource that serves as an event calendar for our HMR student programs for the 25-26 school year. Stakeholders can use this guide to save the date and plan for professional development opportunities provided by our department for each of our programs. So at a high level, today is our first quarterly webinar. We have our second webinar scheduled for November 13th. We have our third one, February 5th, and then our last one, May 7th. So you'll be able to register if you haven't already, and be able to save the date. And we're going to be super excited to see everybody again. And with that, in addition to our all-inclusive HMR programs, each of our program areas, our TECHI, our foster care, and our military programs have individual event calendars as well to support your planning and PD needs. So again, if you would like a copy of this, it is on our HMR webinar webpage. You can download one, you can download all, based on how you support your school, your ESC. We are here to provide you what you need. To stay informed throughout the year, be sure to subscribe to our HMR programs listserv. We'll be sending out quarterly newsletters that include updates across all of our HMR programs, military connected students, our at-risk, our TECHI. Each issue will feature announcements, training opportunities, and highlights across the state. Our first quarterly newsletter will be released in the next few weeks, so stay tuned. And if you want to access the newsletter after it releases, or access any previously released newsletters, they will be available on the newsletter link on our HMAR webpage. Now, how do you subscribe? So this is a walkthrough of how to subscribe. When you are on the TEA webpage, at the very top in the red, next to TEA correspondence, you'll see sign up for updates. So that's what you're going to be selecting, sign up for updates. And then a window's going to pop up where you're going to fill out your name, your email address. And these are the recommended listservs that we would ask that you subscribe to. So we have our at-risk and highly mobile student program division. We have our foster care and student success, McKinney-Vento homeless education, military connected students, and pregnancy programs. So you can subscribe to one, you can subscribe to all. And in the future, when you don't want to be subscribed, we hope you stay subscribed, but you can always modify your subscription with any of our TEA departments and programs by accessing this link again, putting in your email, and then selecting more or deselecting some of the areas. And lastly, HMR programs email contact. So here on this screen, we'll have our email address for our programs. We've got our TECHI, our foster care, pregnancy related, and our military connected students. And so anytime you have technical assistance requests, or if you just need some guidance, please feel free to email us, email your ESC liaison or champion. Again, we are just a click away. And with that, I'd like to hand it back over to Ms. Kravitz to kind of wrap us up.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Lay, Dr. Viramontes, and Mr. Dobbins. As you can see, our team is prepared and ready to go and giving lots of great information. Thank you so much for the engagement in the chat, the Q&A questions that are coming in. Lots of great discussion today that we trust is beneficial to you. So as we're getting ready to bring this webinar to a close, we do just want to restate some reminders. So just at a very high level, please make sure that your Ask TED information is up to date. And we did see some comments in the chat, some folks, some districts don't have a foster care liaison or an McKinney-Vento liaison identified, and that's against the law. Districts are supposed to have a point of contact. Charter schools are supposed to have a point of contact. And so we want to make sure that that happens. Contact your Ask TED administrator. And if you're a charter school, place that form with the charter school division so that that information can be maintained and updated. It's as good as those that use it. And so we want to make sure that that information is updated. The TECHI support number, the 1-855-85-TECHI. This will be live in October. So please pin that, tag it on your phone, give yourself a reminder, let people know, get the word out about that number. It will be live in October, and we will be able to answer your questions from 7 a.m. to 3:30, Monday through Friday. And there'll be a voice note for you to be able to leave messages, and it will link directly with our ESC regional TECHI contacts. We're super excited about that. And
Are
the
you guys
online
excited? Like, I see no emojis. You're tired. We're getting to the end of it. If you can throw some love in there, we worked so hard to bring this to you guys. We're so excited. There we go. There we go. Awesome.
Wonderful. And the online intake form is already live now. So you literally can go to our website and right now click on that button and place a McKinney-Vento technical assistance inquiry that will be addressed and routed to our regional network for an answer. And so we're just really, as Desiree mentioned, we're very excited about this enhancement to our TECHI technical assistance. Just want to make sure that you're identifying new students. Mr. Dobbins mentioned foster care students being under-identified. We know that's an ongoing issue with all of our groups where we miss them. And so we want to make sure that we're identifying them. So working with your registrars and providing that training, shoring up your identification and understanding what those expectations are across all of our program areas. We want to remind you to do that. And then as Anne mentioned, talking about the transition requirements, newly enrolled students, if you're in foster care or experiencing homelessness, providing that enrollment conference, making sure that those are happening, that welcome packet, that warm introduction to the school environment, and expedited nutrition benefits. That is a requirement in our policy. So make sure that those are happening. And if maybe they're happening and you're not aware, get connected. Or if they're not happening and they should be, shine that light on that and get that going to make sure that that's happening and we can be best supporting our students and creating that welcoming environment for our mobile students. Our HMAR resources that we mentioned, we had so many new tools to that we walked you through. So that webpage walkthrough, as Dr. Lay mentioned at the beginning, walking you through what's on our web pages and where you can find stuff. We also would love your feedback. If our web pages have been helpful to you, please email us and tell us, like, yeah, this was really helpful. If there's any enhancements or changes that we can make, let us know that too, so we can continue to strengthen. We want it to be helpful to you. We want our information to be up to date and timely. Dr. Lay has done a ton of work creating just a similar look and feel across all of our web pages, and now we have that resource tool as well. So please make sure that you check that out, as well as give us your feedback. With the foster care resources, as Mr. Dobbins mentioned, the points of contact and the importance of that there's that child welfare education specialist point of contact and the foster care liaison on the school side, and the two entities know each other. Or if you're serving as a campus champion, you know each other. That's super important. as well as the reminder for the PEAMS guidance. And so we know there's nuances and particularities with kids in foster care and all the different forms, but be looking for that 2085 or that E2085 or a court order so that you can identify that student accurately in PEAMS. The TECHI resources, we'll say it again, TECHI support 18585 TECHI. It's like catchy it. It's like you can easily tag that 1855585 TECHI and the online intake form. We're also going to be releasing a student success behavior guide support. So that addresses some of the legislative changes that we discussed today with House Bill 6 and a one-pager. That's going to be coming early this fall. So keep a lookout for that. We know there's been a lot of questions related to the discipline and how that affects our discipline toolkit, how to apply the changes to the law. And our team has been working diligently with our partners across the agency and are going to be providing an updated guidance resource related to all of that. So that will be forthcoming this fall. And then with our military resources, we've got the military events calendar, Purple Star Rise, and our military family and Purple Star campus web pages. So make sure and check those out. And then